Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about what's in my knitting notion bag, and these are the basic things that I carry around with me when I have projects with me. So first of all, I want to talk about my embroidery scissors. I got these at Fabricville. You can get them on knitpicks.com or on Amazon, and I have links below for all of these or things like these in the description below. So embroidery scissors are really good just because when you're sewing in your ends, you can cut really close to the fabric. They're easy to carry around than a regular pair of scissors or even a smaller pair of scissors. Embroidery scissors are light and they go right in your bag. So next on the list that you should always have with you, depending on how advanced of a knitter you are, is stitch markers. And you can get a bag of these fairly cheap at any store. And these are the locking stitch markers that I have. And usually these go around a specific stitch that you want to remember, maybe in a previous row or marking the beginning of a row in crochet or knitting in the round. So these ones are the locking ones, but you can get the ones that are just circles. So if you're actually just marking off like a panel of work, like a lace panel or a cable panel, and that makes it a lot easier to not have to think about your pattern as you go. You just have to think about what's in those panels. So next on the list is a cable needle. This is what your basic cable holder looks like. Some of them are straight and about that long, but this one has a little nook in it so that you can easily like hang those 3 stitches from the back of your work or the front of your work, depending on what your pattern is. So that's really handy to always have one, and they usually come in packs of 3. Again, I buy a lot of these tools at Walmart or Michael's, and you can find them in the knitting section or sewing section, but you can go online. Like I said, again, I have links in the description for all of these tools. Next, I mentioned a stitch holder, and this is actually what a medium-sized stitch holder looks like. Now, this would not be a good idea for like sleeves. I would recommend using maybe waste yarn for that, but let's say you have to put some stitches on a holder for a pocket. What is a good example? Oh, a good example would be a heel of a sock. So a lot of times you want to put those on a holder or an extra double-pointed needle while you're turning the heel of a sock. So that would actually be a really good thing for that. So these, again, relatively cheap, come in packs of 3. You can get different kinds, and I just picked this up at Walmart. Next on the list, I have a knitting needle gauge. Personally, I have purchased a lot of cheaper but useful needles online, like on Wish. So I got like all of my sizes for 15 bucks. So those ones don't necessarily have what millimeter they are on the side of each needle. So sometimes they can get a little mixed up. I do try to keep them organized, but that's where this can come in handy because as you can see, it has all of the sizes in millimeters and US sizes, so that you can kind of, if you get one in there and it's pretty tight, but really like it fits really well, that's going to be what size your knitting needle is. And it actually works for crochet hooks as well. So, and this one, you can get a whole bunch of different kinds. The one that I've seen that I really want is actually like a little plastic man, and he's got a bunch of holes in him, so you can see why that would be tongue-in-cheek. But this one actually has a little ruler on it, so if I'm just measuring like swatch patches or something like that, I can measure it right on there. And speaking of measuring, the next basic item I have in my knitting notion bag is a measuring tape. A lot of the times I'm doing blankets, so this can be quite long and again, quite small. I got this one at the counter at Fabricville. That's a really, really nice thing to have in my knitting notion bag. So I do crochet and knit. I've always had a crochet hook in my knitting notion bag, but now I have a whole bunch. But they're really good because once you get more advanced, you can start to learn how to fix your own knitting mistakes, and these are really handy if you drop a stitch. So you can use the ladder effect and your crochet hook to actually bring that drop stitch back up to the row that you're working on. I keep 2 sizes in mine. I keep a 3mm because I do use this a lot for my amigurumi toys, but it's great for sock yarn. And I also keep a 5mm because I mostly work with sock yarns and worsted weight yarns, and this is good for worsted weight. So 2 other things that I keep in my little notion bag. Now the last thing on my list is very important because you're going to need this to sew in your ends. Now we all hate sewing in our ends, I know, it's a drag, but we must do it if we want to have a polished product. So this is just a yarn needle. You can get the metal, plastic, whatever you prefer, or if you can't find a yarn needle, you can look for a darning needle. What you're really looking for is the large eye on the end of it, and I actually have a couple different sizes because I do use a couple different size yarns, but this is a larger one for worsted weight, and I can actually sew it into the chunky weight yarns as well with this. So again, really cheap, and just these are the basic things that you should have in your notion bag. Now let's talk about the bag itself. I personally had this bag for a long time. If you go to Indigo or Chapters very often, they sell makeup size bags and they sell pencil case bags. And this is just a pencil case size bag, and it fits everything I need in it. And then I have project bags for each of my projects that I have. So I hope you enjoyed watching what's in my knitting notion bag. And if you did, hit a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for future videos. Have a great day.